Now I'm going to put it in the mount here, and I have a little magnet attachment. So I've kind of got it there. I think that looks pretty good. All right, hopefully you can see everything. So all the STs, they have the push button. I got to put the seatbelt on. All the STs, they have the push button start. Okay, so what am I doing right now? I don't even know if you can see my left leg. See my left leg right there? Okay, that's me pushing the clutch in. Okay, so in order to start any manual transmission car, whether it's a key or whatever, you have to push the clutch in first, and then you switch the ignition on, whether it's a push button or a key. You'll notice right now that the transmission, hopefully you can see that, but the transmission is in reverse. Okay, so when you are parking a manual transmission, if you park an automatic transmission, you should put it into park, right? Obviously that locks the transmission, the car can't go. But if you are parking a manual transmission, you should always be putting it into reverse. Some people put it in first gear, but bottom line is that reverse gear is always more rugged, more robust, and so if it's on a hill or something like that, it's going to be stronger and it's going to preserve your transmission for a lot longer time if you use it in reverse. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire it up and I'm going to give you a little tutorial. I think I got to turn the stereo off because otherwise YouTube will yell at me for copyright violations, but that's all right. So okay, let's just do it. I push in the clutch, starting up the car. I love that engine, firing up. Okay, let's turn that off. Okay, hopefully I'm kind of looking around. I want to see, yeah, we can see everything. Okay, so look, I'm 47 years old. I've been driving a manual transmission since I... Fan down. Okay, there you go. Driving a manual transmission since I was like 19 years old. So most every car that I've ever owned has been a manual transmission. Unfortunately, my 2018 F-150 is not a manual transmission, but you can't get them in a manual transmission. But that's the other videos that you see. Okay, so a brief sort of tutorial, I guess, on the actual shifter. Okay, so first of all, in order to put it into any gear, you have to actually push the clutch in. Okay, you have to push the clutch in and out of gear to shift gears. Okay, so it's pretty easy. This one's a little stiff. Every single clutch is going to be a little bit different than the other. And by the way, clutches age over time. They wear out. So even any manual transmission at 20,000 miles is going to be different than a manual transmission at 50,000 or at 80,000, even just given the same car. Okay, they just kind of wear out. This one is only at 48,000. It's kind of like just perfect, actually. I mean, it's really, really perfect. My Mustang is a 2008. It's got 55,000 miles on it. So it's a very well preserved Mustang, manual transmission, V6. Don't let anybody ever clown a V6 Mustang if it has a manual transmission. It's a phenomenal engine. Manual transmissions, you can always tease more power out of the engine by downshifting. Okay, I don't know why anybody would ever buy a sports car without it being a manual transmission, but hey, to each their own. It's not my judgment. But okay, so back to the tutorial. Okay, so this particular transmission has the reverse on the upper left, say quadrant. That was me being a science teacher. But up on the left, top left. Okay, so in order to do that with this particular transmission, there's this little collar that's here. They call it a collar, and you have to lift up on it, and then that will move it past the first and into the reverse. If you don't pull the collar up, it's never going to go into reverse. Never going to go into reverse. It thinks it wants to go into first gear, but it'll never go into reverse. If I push the clutch in, pull the collar up, move it over, now I'm in reverse. I'm going to take the brake off, and I'm going backwards. Okay? Going backwards, going backwards, going backwards. I brake, stop the vehicle. Okay, pull it back into neutral. Neutral is pretty fluid on a manual transmission. So all of this is neutral. I don't have my foot on the clutch. This is all neutral. I can go all the way to the right. I can go all the way to the left. And I can kind of shift into gears in neutral, but it's not going to shift into gear. And there's interlocks now on transmissions that keep it from actually shifting into gear. I think. I can't speak for everyone, but generally speaking. But so you have to push the clutch in order to get into gear. Okay, so hand on the wheel. A little comfortable, seatbelt, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to put it into first gear. So I'm not going to pull the collar out because we're not going to go in reverse. I'm just going to put it into first. So now I'm in first gear. We're not going anywhere because I haven't pushed on the gas, right? In order to push on the gas, in order to go first gear is always going to be the hardest gear for a manual transmission car. Always, okay? Once you get into first gear, second is really easy. And then outside of that, maybe you spin, the engine a little bit. But for the most part, It's really easy to get into gears after first. First is always the trickiest one. But first gear is always the one that has the most pop as well, because when you are on the racing strip, you want to get an edge out of, the people you're racing with, right? Okay, not that I'm encouraging that, stay legal, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I'm in first gear right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out on the clutch, and my bosses will probably kill me, but I'm going to deliberately stall the car, okay? I'm not going to push on the gas. I'm going to deliberately stall the car. It's going to jerk around a little bit. People always stall cars, okay? So blah, blah, blah. You're going to hear it. I'm going to stop talking. You're going to hear it kind of like labor, and then it'll stall, okay? I don't really want to do that. Okay, that's so funny. I don't know, man. On the ST, that makes me nervous. Okay, on any other car, it would stall, man. This thing just didn't want to stall. Okay, so you know what? We're just gonna go, and I'm gonna drive, and you're gonna kind of see. I'm gonna drive around the parking lot, and you're gonna see how I'm gonna shift from first to second, and so on and so forth. Maybe I'll get in a third, but I probably won't. This is a 6-speed transmission, so the 6-speed, we're talking about like in excess of 80 miles per hour on the highway. You're going to get different opinions about this, but I'm not sure if you can see the instrument cluster in here. But over here, you're seeing your RPM. Here's your speed, but here's your RPM. RPM goes from 1,000 all the way up to 8,000. The red line is from 6,500 on up to 8,000, okay? So I don't think you can really see that with the camera, but what I like to shift right about 3,000. It depends. It's different for different transmissions, but on this particular one, probably 3 to 4,000. Some people like that when you're cruising, maybe you keep it at about 25, but it depends on how tight you want the transmission in order to get more speed. If you let the transmission labor down because you're in a higher gear, then you're just kind of cruising along, right? But I like to keep it tight because at the end of the day, if you have manual transmission, you're leading the pack anyway, okay? Trust me. That's the point. Okay, you're owning it. You're owning your car, you're owning the road, you're leading the road. So, you always want to keep your transmission nice and tight. Try to keep it at a lower gear. 3,000 RPM, that's my suggestion to you. I'm not a race car driver. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Somebody else is probably going to crush me on that. I don't know. But that's how I drive. Okay, I'm going to push the clutch in. I'm going to go over to first gear, and I'm going to drive. Now, all clutches are a little bit different. I have to give it gas. You see my right foot? I don't know if you can see it. I should have worn neon shoes or something. But when you let the clutch out with your left foot, you have to push the gas in with your right foot. And that is how you go. And it has to be done simultaneously, folks. It has to be done kind of at the same time, because if you let the clutch out and you don't push on the gas, you'll stall the car. If you push on the gas when the clutch is in, you're just not going to go anywhere because the transmission is not engaged with the engine, right? But you see I'm driving around, this car this thing really wants to go. It really, really, really wants to go. You can just feel it. You can just feel it. It does not want to labor down. Okay, so I'm driving around. Everybody else probably thinks I'm being goofy here at the Hagen parking lot. So I'm going to get it up to speed up here, and I'm going to flip it down to second. Okay, now I'm in second. Second is kind of a cruising speed, parking lot cruising speed. Okay, you don't really want to cruise in first gear, although I was doing it back then, but most transmissions won't let you do that. This transmission just is beautiful, so it's letting me do that. But in second gear here, just kind of having fun. Let's get out on the road. Generally speaking, you never want to downshift a transmission. I used to deliver pizzas. I used to have a Nissan Sentra SER. At the time, it was a 91. I had it in 90, whatever, when I was going to community college in the late 90s. And I broke the transmission, the reason why I was delivering pizzas for Pizza Hut. And I was downshifting in town. Man, you want to get good at driving? Become a delivery pizza driver, by the way. This is a ton of fun. Plus, you get free pizza. But anyway, so if you can, it's not just saving your brakes, but if you're really, really good, you can use your transmission to slow the car down if you're in gear. Okay, it'll slow down kind of on its own, and you can use less brake. But my problem is I was so rough on my transmission on that Sentra, and let's be honest, it's not a sports car. I broke the transmission, cost me $2,000, and it wasn't fun. So I don't let the transmission slow me down anymore. I kind of learned my lesson on that. At the end of the day, brakes are a lot cheaper than transmissions. So if you got to use your brake to downshift, if you got to use your brake to slow down, that's just what you got to do. You guys, once you develop your talents or whatever your skills, you just do whatever you want. But that's just my recommendation. Race car drivers, if you have a more robust transmission, I don't know. That's out of my league, but maybe those people will use the transmission to slow down a car. I don't really care about doing that. Okay, so I'm going to get going here. We're going to go for a little trip. And I'm going to go up on the freeway, and then I'm going to try to find this road that's kind of squirrely, and it's a lot of fun. Oh, I need to put my... you know what? I'm sorry, I got a deal going right now, and I need to put my phone on off of silent in case they call me. So hang tight. Sorry about that. Oops. I don't even know what happened in the camera, but I need to be available for that call. Okay. The deal's not going. The guy had to go talk to his wife. So that's that. Okay, let's go. Oh, one more thing. Just let me quickly show this. I don't know if you can see the numbers here. You can see the red. Okay, we got reverse with the caller. First, second. Okay, that flips back up. Third, you're in third. Now we're in fourth. And then you have to push fifth over. It'll spring into third, but you have to push fifth over. Now you're in fifth and come down to sixth. Every single one of my transmissions, I guess maybe they're just older, have always been 5-speed. But 6-speed, it's a smaller gear, I guess difference. I don't know the official term, I'm not a mechanic. But so therefore you can kind of tease out more power out of each individual gear. That's the concept of a 6-speed transmission. But what we're going to do is we're going to go out of here. We're going to bust up on the highway. I just kind of want you to just watch. Just watch. Okay? And, you know, everybody has their little style. For me, it's just, I don't know. It's just what I do. We have, whoa. All right, let's go left here. And the car, stop sign, the car definitely sounds like it's racing, even though it's going like 20 miles per hour. But this engine is just so fun. Let's see if I can maybe not get that red light that's up there. Oh, Mustang just went in front of me. That is beautiful. Just bought that too, it looks like. Okay. Hanging out at the red light here. Alright. Hey man, I want you guys to, subscribe to my channel, man. I want to get some more fun stuff up here. And I want to get my truck. Here we go in here. I want to get more videos of my truck up, have some more fun, get out on the road, do some road tripping. And maybe, I don't know, maybe some videos of my Mustang too, because that's a heck of a lot of fun. So what I want to do, oh good, it's turning green, so there you go. That's a good sign. That's good luck. I want to go north, so let's go north. Alright. So it's super tight in the turns, man. Going up on the freeway here. Lots of traffic, more than I want. Come on, guy. It's one of those Lincoln F-150s, man. They don't sell those anymore. That's what's in front of me. Is he gonna let me go? I don't know what it is, but when you're driving a sports car, like people in Subarus and Priuses get angry, and they want to race you. It's weird, I don't know, but it tends to get people fired up. I guess that's the purpose, right? So right here, I'm in fourth gear. I'm doing about 63, and my RPMs are about 3,500. When you first start driving a manual transmission, you will probably see. I don't like the way that sounds. It's lugging down. I like to hear it in kind of with the high pitch to it, because that's where you get more. That's where you get more pop. This engine gets pop in just about any gear, but I can speed up a little bit. Right up here around the corner, it goes from 60 to 70, so it's really nice because we can kind of get it up to speed. And I don't want to break any major rules, See, I'm in fifth gear. I don't even like that. I'm at 3,000 RPM, man. I want I want to have more tight. I want it to be tight, man. I want the engine to be tight, like a rope, so that I can pop it at any point and just go, you know? Come on, traffic. Just doing, you know, it's flow of traffic doing 70 miles an hour. I think there's already, should it already be, speed limit already at 70 in here. That's a sweet looking Subaru. Crosstrek, all macked out. Seems like everybody up here, I mean, you saw my truck, man, with all the rack system on it, the Cargo Master rack, and everything, the truck boxes, all the stuff I keep in there, go camping, overlanding, four-wheel driving. But I live up in Mount Vernon now, Mount Vernon, Burlington, everybody up here in Bellingham area, man, everybody's got rack systems. Everybody's buying transit vans now. I've only been there for 3 months. I think I've sold 4 or 5 brand new transit vans. Man, that's the thing to do, man. Everybody's doing those things. I should probably take a video of that. Okay, so we're in the 70 mile per hour zone and I'm at 80. Don't tell anybody. But I got this car up here and I can't really have any fun. You know, I took an EcoBoost. Well, you saw that video, but I took an EcoBoost Mustang out. And I'm just going to turn the lights on. Everybody probably thinks I'm a jerk on the road right now. Yeah, I don't really want to be that guy. But, I mean, I'm not like, I don't tailgate people or anything like that. So, that's not what I'm doing. I know you probably can't see whoever's there. But, I just want to let it go a little bit more. And there's a lot less traffic here where you can kind of get away with doing it. Alright. Here we go. Woo! Yeah, I got the go juice, man. It wants to go. So fun. Oh, Kia minivan in front of me. I ain't going far. But the exit up here is pretty close, but passing semis and so on right now. And I really want to kind of go on. There's a back road that's over here, and I kind of want to show you this thing. Chris, if you're listening, Chris is a guy out of Whidbey Island who took me out in a Ford Fiesta ST that we still have in our lot that I have a video of, and he took that thing out like a rock star on this back road, and I'd never seen the road before, and that was literally my first test drive at Dwayne Lane. I was still doing training at the time. But that dude's super rad, and you know, I don't remember he does space rockets. No, he does race car stuff. But and he took me on this road, and at the end, my palms were sweating. He put his hand over to shake my hand, and I was like, I can't shake your hand, dude. I'm so sweaty right now. He scared me. But that road is so much fun, and the Fiesta ST, man, it's just as freaking fun. But it's got, yeah, we need to get off here. Let's turn around. This Bow Hill Road. If I go any further, I'll be in Bellingham. It's like the greatest place in the world. If you don't know, don't move there because, like, it'll get overcrowded. Whatever, I'm kidding. It's awesome. Okay. Oh, man, just, these Recaro seats are amazing. Like, they're definitely sports seats. Like, these are not hokey, man. Oh, yeah. They keep you in the pocket, man. They keep you in the seat. You're not going to be falling around or anything like that. We're going to get back on the freeway right here. Hopefully you guys are looking at the shifting. You're looking at the pedals, the pedal work. And this is not my car, obviously, right? So all transmissions are a little bit different, like I was saying. So it's still like, that's kind of the fun of a manual transmission, because you could be a total pro, but like you get into a brand new vehicle and then you're already a novice because you have to relearn that clutch, you know? So I'm doing 80 right now, don't tell anybody. And I got it in 5th gear. Like, 5th, that's normal, okay? I'm at 3,500 RPMs, the red line is 6,500. So I'm gonna flip it down to 6th gear at 80 miles per hour and see what happens. Okay, it goes down to 3,000 RPM. But I don't like that sound. You hear that sound? That's cruising sound, man, but that's not leader of the pack sound. I mean, I'm flying down the road. I'm still doing 80 miles an hour, so I'm not breaking too many rules here, you know. But, like, see how long, it just takes a long time. I totally mashed the gas pedal down, right? And it took me forever to just get 10 miles per hour. So let's go back to 5th gear. We're gonna go back to 5th gear, and I'm gonna get it at 80 miles an hour. Get it back to 80, I love that sound. I'm gonna get it back to 80, I'm at 3,500 RPM. Now, I'm gonna mash the gas down and see how long it takes me to get to 90. Oh, there's a cop right there. So let's hope I don't get pulled over. Wait, that's not a cop. It's just some dude crossing over to go north on the highway. What's up with that? Okay, I'm gonna try this little rule again. Okay, so boom, 80, 3,500 RPM, mash it into gas in 5th gear, just flying 90. Okay, I'm gonna slow down. Okay, we had really good fun right there. I don't want to break too many rules. I just want to show you guys like the power of this thing, ST. Like 6th gear is ridiculous. That's all I'm saying. Like, when you gonna be in 6th gear, man? Like, you know, if you're racing, you're gonna be in 6th gear. Okay, that's cool. Let's test the brakes. Let's do a brake test. That was just fun. I was just having fun right there. There's nobody behind me or anything weird like that. I'm pretty much coasting right now. But I really do kind of want to find that road that Chris took me on, and I've only been on it a couple times since. I took a couple of Mustangs on it, and traffic's getting kind of thick up here. So I took this out yesterday. I was going to do a film. I was going to do this video yesterday, but I don't know, I got limited on time or something like that. So anyway, I went back and I almost ran out of gas. Like, it was literally 0 miles to empty, and so I had to stop at a gas tank and I had to put gas in it myself. But I only put like a couple of gallons in it, and so somebody must have taken it out today and gassed it up even further, because there's like a half a tank, which makes this video a lot more fun. So I'm filling this car right now. I'm really loving the 3,500 RPM range. Somebody please, if you're more familiar with these cars than me, please engage, man. What is your experience? What have you found? I'm not an owner. Like, I just sell these things, okay? So that's why I want to take this out. Someday I want to be an owner, but for those of you who are owners out there, I want your input. Tell me what you think, and get back to me. I'm in 4th gear right now. Let's put it at least in 5th gear. I'm at 70 miles an hour. And that cuts me down at about 3,200 RPM. Be coming around the corner. I want to get off on a Highway 20 to be able to find this road. And it's about 1:45. I get off of work at 5 today. Going up to Bellingham and have some fun. And finally, it's been a long time. For a couple of days. And but anyway, this customer was just in. He was looking to trade in a 16 F-150 for a super cab. He had a regular cab, but couldn't fit family in there, so he wanted to trade it in. He got a really good deal on an 18 F-150. There's just so few of them out there. But we had to do a dealer trade. It's just part of the business, how it works. But we gave him numbers. He had to go and talk to his wife. You know, that's totally fine. There's no pressure at all at Dwayne Lane, which is what I love. I've worked for knucklehead dealerships where there's so much pressure, and oh man, it's terrible. I want to get off here, so I need a brake. There's a semi there, 3rd gear to give me some power. We're gonna brake right here. Once you people, you'll hear this a lot, but when you start driving a manual transmission, you're gonna be looking a lot at the RPMs. I need some water. You'll be looking a lot at the RPMs. But you take your eyes off the road. I'm going to take take your eyes off the road, and you know, you're just going to wreck or crash into somebody. Although it's kind of hard to crash like this car unless you literally run into somebody. But I just have about 3 or 4 semis in front of me, which is a bit of a bummer. And they're all going to go on Highway 20. Highway 20 sends us out to Whidbey Island. Anacortes is to the north, and Oak Harbor is to the left, Deception Pass. There is, I don't think I'm going to make this light, but the light is right now, it's green to take a left. But I got these 2 semis in front of me, we'll see. But if you want to see literally the most beautiful place in the world on earth, go to Rosario Point. Rosario Point. Sometimes my accent gets in the way. Rosario Point. And it's just kind of out by, I'm going to make this green light. I have a go. Okay. Alright, Mr. Semi. We will see you some other time. But yeah, Deception Pass is amazing. If you've ever been to Washington State, I mean, if you live here, you live here. But if you're not from Washington State, or if you are, you're in the military, coming up to Deception Pass is the most beautiful place. It's probably about, there's a red light up here, which I'm going to slow down for. We're really close to the dealership, by the way. It's just kind of right down the street to the left. But if I go up here about another 10, 15 minutes, then I will hit, so it's not far, Deception Pass, and kind of just north of Oak Harbor. And it's so beautiful. Whidbey Island is so beautiful. Whidbey Island Naval Air Station is out there, so when the aircraft carriers come in through the Straits of Juan de Fuca, they drop off their planes or whatever. I mean, I'm a submarine guy, so I don't really know what the airboys do and surface fleet kind of in general, but generally speaking, they drop. The Navy guys will be flying, doing test flights or whatever, doing their training flights. You'll see them all the time around here. But then the aircraft carriers, I think, go into Everett. I don't know, maybe Bremerton if they're doing. I need to find this road. So, let's see. This is a long video, but so probably a lot of you guys have probably just totally checked out, and I get it. And it's probably going to take 3 weeks to actually upload. But this is one of the most fun parts about this video. If I can find a doggone thing. But when I learn how to do the editing, then I think this is it. I'm just going to take it. When I learn how to do the editing, then I can break it up and at least put it kind of into 2 separate videos here. Alright, if this isn't it, then we'll just still have some other fun, but you can take a look at what I got going on with the shifter. Let's see. I think this actually might be it. Yeah, that's right, so we're going in from the back way. I think this is the road, but we're going in from the back way. And there's a lot of traffic here too. So this is the road, and there's a lot of tight corners here. Here I'm in 3rd gear. So there's a lot of, like, I'm feeling the inertia. It's pushing me into seats. I got cars in front of me, so this is going to be less fun. But you can see, well, you can't see, but there's a lot of windy roads. You can see that I'm turning. And we run into a Hyundai. Oh, heartbreaker, man. Heartbreaker. We're gonna come back this way though. It's not very short. I mean, I cannot believe, man, in 2nd gear, you're gonna put me in 2nd gear, really, dude? Come on. Oh. So that's that kind of downshifting to brake, and you probably just noticed that it just totally slowed down the vehicle. Oh, man. So I'm gonna try to do a U-turn right here and maybe just kind of come back the other way. Oh, if that ridge line turns left, I'm gonna be super duper angry. Okay, let's just do a U-turn here. All right. So really tight turning radius. That was fun. Okay, here we go. That was 1st to 2nd gear. Get a good grip of the wheel. Yeah, This is the greatest car on the road, man. Like, I mean, that's bogus, of course it's not, but it's a super fun car. Imagine the fact that this car is, I mean, it's $16,000, right? Come on in and buy this car. Like, please, come talk to me. Like, I want to be the guy who sells this car. Ooh, let's take some corners. This is so rad. Oh, it's like you're, okay, let's be safe. It's like you're 10 years old again, and you got your little Hot Wheels cars, and you're like, we are at the end of our trek, folks. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the video off. I think I'm gonna get back on and get back to the dealership. Hopefully my customer shows up, gives me a call, and so on. But oops, that's a green light, so we're gonna go a little bit further here. Fun! So fun! Oh my gosh, this is so fun. So fun, so fun, so fun. Hopefully you got a good idea of the shifter. I mean, that's kind of the idea there, you know, with all this that we're doing here. You know what? I'm going to show you one more thing. Coming back to the video, the concept of actually shifting. Because I'm going to show you how you effectively learn how to drive a manual transmission. And we're going to do it. Let's see, what's the best place to do it? Yeah, we got to take a right because that is a red light and I want to stand there for it. So let's go this way. Clear to go. Right. Okay, so this is a 2-lane road, but it's kind of ridiculous in here. God, I love this car. I mean, I hate to say it, I mean, my Mustang is awesome, man, but the Mustang is heavy. You know, even though it's a V6 engine, it's still heavy. So it feels heavy, you know. And I mean, you can get all the kind of power you want out of it if you got a manual transmission and you know how to drive it, of course. But it's still heavy. This car's not heavy. The engine. I mean, it's like featherweight, like 2.0 liter. I mean, my goodness, you know. So, and that's why, I mean, the turbo, that's why you get, you know, all the power from it, you know. And whoa, they're just rad, man. 1973, 72 Chevy truck that's over there. It's red and black. Anyway, we just passed it. I love it. I grew up in a 72 Chevrolet truck, man. Single cab, regular cab.